Hello dear students, this is the video of class 8 and this is the revision video children, and in this video you are going to learn about components of a CPU. It has following components: memory unit, control unit and ALU, arithmetic and logic unit. And the second topic is working of a CPU. How does it works? So coming to the point, what is CPU? The purpose of the CPU is to process the data. The CPU is used to process calculation, sorting, searching, etc. Whatever is done in our computer, such as checking emails, playing games, and doing homework, the CPU has to process the data. Actually, CPU is known as the processor of the computer. Okay, and it is known as the brain of the computer. It is the most important part of the computer. Without CPU, computer cannot perform any work. Okay, so CPU itself has the following three components. First one is memory or storage unit. Second one is ALU and third one is control unit. Now you can say second one is control unit and third one is ALU. You can see the picture of CPU. This is the picture of a computer CPU. When you open the CPU cabinet of a computer, you will find this CPU inside the motherboard, okay, on which a processor is placed and it works. So there are many different types of motherboard of the computer, and according to the motherboard, processor is placed on it. Okay, nowadays we are using i3 and i5 processors. So the central, now coming to the each part, I will discuss all the parts. So these are the components of a CPU: memory unit, control unit and ALU. So what does memory unit do? After the calculation, memory unit stores the result. Control unit is responsible for transmitting the data from one unit to another. And ALU, what is the work of ALU? It is responsible for doing all the mathematical calculation as well as it takes the logical decision. Now you can see the block diagram of a CPU. The data is inputted through input device like keyboard, mouse, etc. The data goes to the CPU. So with the help of control unit, it the data is sent to the ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, where calculation is being done. Processing of data takes place inside the ALU, and after processing of data, the result is stored in the memory unit, and control unit helps to transmit the data from one unit to another. Okay, now after creating the result, the data is stored in the memory unit and the data is transferred, then the data is transferred to the output unit like monitor and printer, where you can see the output. Okay, if there is no output device, data will be stored in the memory, but you cannot see the data. So you have to use some output device so that you can see the data. Understood? You have to attach monitor or printer to your computer so that you can see the output. Now, you know very well the basic components of a computer, that is the hardware and the software. Hardware are those devices of the computer. Hardware are those parts of the computer which we can touch and feel with our hands. Okay, the device, the components of a computer which we can touch and feel are known as hardware. For example, keyboard, mouse, monitor, etc. While software are those devices which we cannot touch and feel. Software consists of programs which instruct the computer about what to do. Examples of some softwares are MS Paint, Logo, MS Word. You can work on the software, but you cannot touch or feel. Understood? So now coming to the functional components of a computer. Functional components, there are three types of functional components: input device, CPU, and output device. You know what is input device? It is any hardware device that sends data to a computer, allowing you to interact with and control it. So with the help of input device, we enter data into the computer. And what is the work of CPU? It processes the data and creates the result. And what is the work of output device? With the help of output device, the result is displayed on the screen. You can see the result with the help of output device. So these are the functional components of a computer, children. So some examples of popular input devices are keyboard, mouse, scanner, joystick, light pen, digitizer, etc. And in this picture, there are few input devices, and there are some input devices, and there are in another picture there are some output devices. You can see the picture of output device. In this picture, there are some input devices also, and there are some output devices also. For example, webcam. What is webcam? It is an input device. Okay. And monitor. What is monitor? It is an output device. Here headphone is output device, while microphone, it is input device. Okay. Speakers, output device. Printer, output device. And in this picture, all are input device: keyboard, mouse, joystick, trackball, scanner, touch screen, webcam, microphone, all are input device. So I hope you have understood the difference between all the functional components of a computer, and you have also understood the basic components of a computer. The basic components are hardware and software, while the functional components of a computer are input device, CPU, and output device. So I hope you have understood all the topics nicely. So this was the revision video, children. I hope you have understood it nicely. Thanks for watching this video, children.